Hey out there YouTube, I was just wanted to do a quick follow-up review for the Whynter dual zone 62 quart cooler or fridge freezer. I was able to use it this weekend over the 4th of July weekend, and so I have some results that I'd like to share with you. So to get started, I'd like to first tell you about this Coolatron cooler. Basically it uses the hot and cool little ceramic disc thing that when you plug it in one way it is cold inside the cooler, and if you flip it around and reverse it, it's hot inside the cooler. And so basically that's what I used to use when I didn't have access to ice. If I go up camping and once you run out of ice, then you still got to keep your stuff cold. So I had been using this, and I would use it. I had a little solar portable power station set up. So basically I'd have a solar panel hooked up to my battery, and then the battery running this thing and my lights and all that other kind of stuff. So I basically had been using that for a while, and one weekend when we were out using it, I left it plugged in overnight and it completely drained my battery. And I was just kind of ticked off because it's only 45 watts and I couldn't believe that it would use up that much power. But that's the thing with this type, is that once you plug it in, it's always running. So constantly drawing 45 watts. And so with the Whynter, since it is a fridge and it actually has a compressor inside of there, it only uses power when it turns on. And so with all the, it has its own regulator and all that stuff. So once it cools down to the right temperature, it shuts off. So basically I ran that the entire day, the first day, plugged into my battery, and I forgot my solar charge controller, so I wasn't able to plug my solar panel in directly to the battery for very long, because if you overcharge it, it ruins it. So I would only run it, or only plug in the solar panel for the time that I needed to run the fridge. And so after the first day I realized it wasn't drawing very much power. So the second day I didn't plug in my solar panel at all. I just ran it off the battery. And so at the end of the day I plugged it in, and basically I had taken off maybe 10% of my battery, and I was just really impressed with that. It only runs when it needs to, as opposed to that one that runs non-stop and it barely keeps things cold. So I had ice in here. I brought ice cream, and I brought extra bags of ice and some other frozen items, and then I had the fridge, or this side set up as a fridge for the condiments and salads and stuff like that, and foods that we prepared before we left. So I am it is kind of small. It's not really that big for as big as this is. It's not huge, but it is heavy. It's like 65 pounds, so it's kind of a pain in the butt. So basically what's cool is these baskets come out. So what I did was put the cooler in the car without the baskets, and then I would fill up the basket and then bring it and put it in the car. So that way it was a lot lighter for me to carry by myself. But if you have two people, it's not a problem, not that big a deal. So what I ended up doing, or what I'm going to be doing in the future, is I'll use this for all my fridge or freezer, whatever I'm going to use it for, and then I'm actually going to bring the old cooler that I used to use for beverages and stuff like that, because there's not a ton of room in here. And so as many days as we went, so we went like 4 days camping, we couldn't put enough in the fridge that we were going to use, because I had put sodas in there too. And so since I put sodas in there, it kind of limited the space for food and whatnot. So basically that's why I'll be also bringing this cooler with me, so that I can keep a little bit of ice and some sodas and whatnot. So other than that, I was just really impressed with how much power it took. I have a 200 watt solar panel and 110 amp hour battery that I use for it. And it was only taking maybe 10% of the battery for the entire day. So I was very impressed. I only plugged in the solar panel like 3 times throughout the day on the first day to charge it back up. So yeah, really impressed. I'm very happy with this. I don't know on a car battery though, because I'm using the AGM battery, the aggregated glass mat. So It's a solid sealed battery. I use that for my 12 volt needs during camping, but I don't really use the car battery for any of that stuff. So I don't know with a regular battery what it would do. I mean, I'm impressed with what it did with the regular sealed battery. So I wouldn't mind probably putting it in the car too and leaving it plugged into the car. Just, you know, give the jump or start your car every once in a while to keep the battery charged. So all right, just wanted to let you know I really like it. I would recommend it. I mean, the color is nice. If you carry it by yourself, I don't know if you can see it, I put a little ding in it with my knee, hit my knee, so you might want to carry it with 2 people. Anyways, all right, talk to you later. Thanks.